franktalks.com.
A reading from Terry Gould, The Lifestyle. Hi, I'm Zoltan, and welcome to another edition of Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles, a reading from. This week's reading segment comes from Terry Gould, The Lifestyle, pages 209 to 211. In 1995, Baker and Bellis published their complete findings in Human Sperm Competition, Copulation, Masturbation, and Infidelity, which demolished the notion that sperm were merely programmed to swim to the ovum, that females were naturally monogamous, and that males' ejaculations and inseminate were not governed in any critical way by millions of years of female behavior. They discovered the smoking gun of natural human-female infidelity. There's Kinsey, pronounced Sarah Blaffer Hardy in an interview in 1997. There's Masters and Johnson. There's Baker and Bellis. They're giants in the world of sex research. I think they're heroes. Their disturbing conclusion was that these sexual adaptations were so fundamental that they could only have been shaped by evolution. The innate male fear of female licentiousness appeared justified. In our evolutionary past, monogamy had probably never existed as a biological norm for our species, nor did it exist today. Every one of us, Baker wrote in his popular book Sperm Wars, is the person we are today because one of our recent ancestors produced an ejaculate competitive enough to win a sperm war. Embedded for millions of years in the genes of every man is the absolute conviction that his partner could be having sex with someone else within days, hours, or minutes of having sex with him. The longer the time she spends away from him, the more convinced his body becomes, the body being a more accurate measure of evolutionary tendencies than a wishful mind, what I have termed SCS, and the increased pleasure in ejaculation it causes men is the naturally selected manner in which males combat spousal licentiousness. Whenever a husband prepares to have sex with his wife, he unconsciously weighs the odds that she has been or will be unfaithful to him. To increase the chances of winning the sperm wars that might follow, he needs to introduce more sperm. And this is just what he does. Unconscious in straight men, cultivated and enjoyed by swinging men, SCS is a product of nature. Suppose a straight couple are living together in ostensible monogamy, seeing each other every day and having sex a couple of times a week. Every time they make routine love, the man will deposit some 200 million sperm cells, depending on how much his loading muscles squeeze out from the two sperm tubes rising out of the testicles, and on the number of orgasmic spurts he employs to deliver the sperm and seminal fluid from the prostate. According to the old view, all these sperm were, by design, fertile egg-getters. But Baker and Bellis thought there could be another reason for the profusion. They discovered that less than 1% of a male's vast number of sperm were programmed for this job. More than 4/5 kamikaze sperm were designed to actively hunt down and kill the sperm cells of other males in the female's vagina, cervix, and womb. And just under 1/5 blockers were designed to obstruct the path of another male's sperm. Hence, the billions of sperm a male's testicles produce every month, enough to fertilize every female on the planet, most of them warriors ready for combat in the bodies of philandering women. According to Baker and Bellis, a male would be totally unaware of the different war divisions in his inseminate, nor would he be able to control the number of troops he was ejaculating. At work was a blind evolutionary process governed by genetic inheritance. This process had selected for both the composition of a male sperm based on the probability of having to fight a war and the amount of sperm cells the male's body instinctively knew it must deliver to the female based on the immediate likelihood of that war. The routine delivery of millions of sperm, which could survive up to 5 days in the female, served as a kind of screen against surprise attack by a rival. Baker called the act of routine sex topping up. Returning to our straight couple, suppose the man's wife goes away for 3 days on a business trip with some colleagues that include an ex-boyfriend. Consciously, the husband thinks she's a loyal wife, but his genetic inheritance tells him differently. The night before she returns, he feels the urge to masturbate, out of boredom he thinks. But his body is telling him to expel old sperm and shunt to the front of his sperm tubes younger sperm ready for battle. Normally, after 3 days without sex, he would inseminate her with the usual number of sperm. Their time apart, however, signals to the husband's most basic instinct that an enemy could be at the gate, and his body begins preparing for war. Eventually, the single cannon shot of that war will be an act of increased pleasure. And that was an excerpt from The Lifestyle by Terry Gould. If you would like to read more about this, consult The Lifestyle by Terry Gould. This was Zoltan for Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles, a reading from segment. If you have a suggestion of any literature you'd like us to review dealing with pleasures and lifestyles, please let us know now. Send an email to frank@franktalks.com. That's frank@franktalks.com, or visit our website at www.franktalks.com.
Remember to sign up for the Alternative Relationship Choices ARC newsletter and get weekly tips to guide you through polyamory, swinging, and the basics of non-monogamy. We can help you find your ARC, your alternative relationship choice. Sign up at franktalks.com now.